guys, welcome back, and we're going to be doing ICW, and I've decided that there's no point in starting a new series just because this, we're only, a few weeks in from where we left off, and I can just sort of give you a recap on what all happened. So, I think you guys got to hear where the main event was Lionheart defeating Demo, and then also Kenny Williams defeated Kid Fight. So they went on to the next week. Also, what else? We're going to defeated Joe Collier. The Fiber defeated Sami Zayn. Yep. Okay. Yeah, Local Fire defeats the New Age Clique, and what happens there is that Joe Hendry pretty much does all the work, and then Joe Hendry goes on to rant about that. Kenny, that was really the main storytelling that we done there. So then we go into the next week. Of course you saw that week, but I just wanted to make sure I had that in there. Joe Coffey comes out, and he's fuming about what happened at Shell's house party. He's had a week off or so, and just let himself correct his thoughts, but it doesn't help. He's fuming. He can't believe what happened, so he challenges Wolfgang to a match at Enter the Asylum. Then we go on to a number one contenders match for the women's championship as Viper takes on Sami Zayn and Courtney, and of course Viper wins. So she would go on and compete at Enter the Asylum 2016. The New Age Clique and the Local Fire then go up against each other, and it's a match to be number one contender for the tag team championship. So yeah, the New Age Clique win as they pin Davey Boy, and then that moves on to the next segment where Joe Hendry has just had enough. He's had it up to here, and he turns heel and straight up attacks Davey Boy. Then we go into the next match, which is Kenny Williams defeating Lionheart. So Kenny Williams is the number one contender for the Series G Championship now, and then Marty Scurll goes up against Mikey Whiplash and defeats him, and then Mikey Whiplash picks up the mic and challenges Marty Scurll to another match, 2 or 3 falls, to show that he's as good as what he seems. I think that was it. I can't remember exactly, but you get the gist. So then we go on to the next week, which is quite a long week in comparison. Marty Scurll defeats, what's this? Okay, yeah, so Marty Scurll goes up against Chris Renview, and I wanted this to be the opening match, so as we built a bit of interest around the show, and also it makes Marty Scurll look strong. I apologise for my pronunciation of his surname. I don't know, I just never really could pronounce that well. So I wanted him to look strong going up against Mikey Whiplash again, and then he does a promo on him, pretty much saying about how he's, he accepts his challenge that he laid out last week, and he's going to defeat him. Fight with defeat Sami Zayn, wanted to make her look strong going in. Then we have Zack Sabre Jr., who signed with New Japan. He defeats Grado because Grado, I don't want to give him a big push, so why not just have Zack Sabre Jr. go over on him, make him useful. Not that I don't like Grado, he's not going to be my main event guy, let's put it like that. He's not a great wrestler, let's face it. Nothing against him, but yeah. Angle Stevie Boy challenges Zack Sabre Jr. To a match. He comes out and he's like, I'm not sure if any of you know this, but he's unless he was kind of like playing towards his face turn, he's like he's wanting to go off to New Japan and wrestle over there. Well, I love ICW and I'll never ever leave this place, and then challenges him to a match pretty much. And then Zack Sabre Jr. accepts the challenge. Kenny Williams defeats Joe Hendry then. Just makes Kenny Williams look strong and Joe Hendry look a little bit weak going into the pay-per-view. Then we see Davey Boy attack Joe Hendry. Joe Coffey goes up against Doug Williams, and then what happens is after that match, Wolfgang comes out and he like sort of holds the title up to Joe Coffey for their match, and he attacks Wolfgang and lays him out. So then we go into the Asylum then, and Noam Dar defeats Kenny Williams to retain the title, the CLG title that is. Red Lightning cuts a promo just talking about the event, that all the different matches and stuff like that that's happening. And also remember he's going to be having a face turn soon, so he's sort of pandering to the fans. He's kind of like we're not going to have anybody interfere in the main event, because obviously the fans want to see Joe Coffey go over and stuff like that. So then we see Carmel defeat Viper to retain her title, the ICW Women's title that is, and then we go on to the next match, was Davey Boy defeating Joe Hendry. That kind of just closes off that part of the storyline, and just as it just kind of closes off that part of the storyline, and then Joe Hendry can move on and do his own thing. Stevie Boy hypes up his match against Zack Sabre Jr. in an angle where he's just getting an interview and stuff like that, and then he defeats Zack Sabre Jr. because the reason why we do him defeating Zack Sabre Jr. is because I want to put him over, and he's a future world champion in my eyes in this, as far as in this game, as far as I'm concerned. In this save, he will be a future world champion, and I really want to get him over as much with the fans as possible. Stevie Boy defeated Zack Sabre Jr. Yeah, and really, it was a good match. So, both competitors are pretty good, especially Zack Sabre Jr. But with Zack Sabre Jr. going out, I don't really see the point of putting him over, because he's leaving the company anyway. So you might as well just have Stevie Boy go over, and that's what we did there. So then we have like one of those angles where they win each other's respect. Although I don't really think that Stevie Boy is anywhere near experienced enough to sort of be like, yeah, you've won my well, no, that's wrong. Maybe I don't know. I'm gonna shut up now. So then we see another segment here where Red Lightning is he's talking to Jack Jester backstage, and it's like, I don't want anybody interfering in this main event tonight. Make sure that the rest of the Black Label know that sort of idea. And then we'll go on to Polo Promotions, who defeat the New Age Clique to retain their titles. Then we see Marty Scurll defeat Mikey Whiplash, and then Arn Stevens refuses to yeah, so what happened here was I accidentally put in Arn Stevens, who will be competing at Fear and Loathing 9 instead of Marty Scurll. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. Interview with Joe Coffey and Wolfgang. Then we see Wolfgang and Joe Coffey go up against each other, and a man in a black mask comes out and a black hoodie comes out and he attacks Joe Coffey. Hits him with a big elbow. That's all I'm gonna say there. And then Wolfgang can get the sort of we're pandering towards a face turn here for Wolfgang as well. So he's kind of he's staring the guy down, and and then the guy just leaves, because why stay there? And then Wolfgang waits for Joe Coffey to get up, and then he that's pretty much it. He just is able to hit a big boot, and with that big elbow crashing into your skull, that was enough to put him away, and then he celebrates. So that's it. I apologise for the length of this, and I don't know how long this has been recording for. I should. Oh no, I do. 7.5 minutes apparently. So here we go with the show. We open up with a promo featuring Joe Coffey, and he's furious about what happened at Into the Asylum. He's furious. He's fuming. He comes out. He's calling out the guy who did it, and just nobody answers the call, and that is until Jack Jester comes down, whose head isn't up here, and he comes down, and he's like, I don't know who he attacked. Who attacked you. I genuinely didn't attack you, but you need to calm down. I've been asked by Dallas himself to come down here and ask you to move yourself from the ring, and Joe Coffey just isn't having any challenges Jack Jester to a match, and he just dominates him in this match. He's throwing suplex after suplex, punching him, kicking him. He's doing everything he can to just dominate Jack Jester in a bout that had decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. That's unfortunate. But we do have Joe Coffey go over on Jack Jester, as you might have expected, in 11 minutes by pinfall. He hits a German suplex, and that's the end of it. Joe Coffey has an in-ring performance of 44. Jack Jester has an in-ring performance of 36, and there was a heel turn for Hendit for Coffey, which is good. That's what I wanted to see. Oh shit! Jack Jester's injured. He's got broken ribs. Damn, man. Fuck. Ah, man. That's gonna give Joe Coffey heat backstage. But Molly Squirrel comes out after that match. He's backstage, even, I should say. And he says, I beat the man who was supposed to Into the Asylum. I beat the man who won the main event spot at Fear and Loathing. Well, I think I deserve that main event spot. So Dallas, red light, and whatever you have to do, make it happen. And then that's it. It's not long. It's not exciting. It just makes sense. Grado goes up against Joe Hendry here because Grado is somebody that I don't want to be pushed, but it's not that I don't want to be pushed. I like Grado. I do quite like Grado, but just in this game I don't really want to push him too much, unless he can improve quickly, which nobody's improving for some reason. But about I had decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Joe Hendry defeats Grado in 13 minutes by pinfall after hitting an STO. The bout dragged in the middle, which was a shame. Grado and Joe Hendry don't seem to click at all. This match cooled the crowd a little. I guess can be considered as a good thing. Guerrero has an in-round performance of 36 and a 39 for Joe Hendry. So we go into the next match, and it's Noam Dar who takes on Stevie Boy. The champion, the COG champion Noam Dar, gets defeated by Stevie Boy in 8 minutes 41 seconds by pinfall after hitting a tornado kick. Kaylee Ray did some good work at ringside. Noam Dar and Stevie Boy have great chemistry, and it showed in their performances. Noam Dar gets an in-ring performance of 61 and Stevie Boy an in-ring performance of 56. Really happy about that. But the champion got pinned, so what's going to happen now? Well, I suppose you just have to wait to find out. Next segment then we see Stevie Boy celebrate, and this is important because that's going to play in. Why is he celebrating? Because, well, he just beat a champion, didn't he? So, you know, let's wait till next week before we explain it fully. Colt Cabana then goes up against Mikey Whiplash. So with this, with this match, I apologise. With this match, yeah. So we brought back Colt Cabana for Fear and Loathing, probably feeding him to Joe Hendry. But we need to get him over with the fans, so why not put him over on Mikey Whiplash, who isn't doing anything at the minute. So Colt Cabana gets an in-ring performance of 43. That's really poor. That's really poor. Colt Cabana's a very good wrestler. Mikey Whiplash has an in-ring performance of 51. Let's end the show there. It lost its popularity in one region, but it gained its popularity in 29. We need to increase our production values, but I don't know if we can just yet. I don't know. But we're getting the overall rating of 36, which isn't bad, you know, really. Considering you see some of the guys that are working for me at the minute are like, you know, guys that I really want to push, but just it's, you know, Davey Boy is one of them that, you know, who just, he can't work that well, unfortunately, which is a shame because I really want to push Davey Boy, but if he doesn't, you know, start to change from being shit to being good, then might have to consider possibly dropping Davey Boy, stopping his push, I should say. Let's go ahead and continue on. We'll probably just end it here, you know. Yeah, let's just end it here. So thanks very much for watching.